Much better than it started. The Dow Jones Industrial Average began the day down more than 400 points, but by the closing bell it rallied to lose just 114. The Nasdaq Composite Index fell nearly 200 points in early trading, but it closed down just 42 points. 7's Jeff Tadarian is in the newsroom with a closer look at this wild day of trading. Jeff?
Randy, we spent some time outside one brokerage house talking to people. Despite the roller coaster ride on Wall Street, most people say they've seen down days before and they're not worried. But if you are, we tried to get some answers today from an expert. So exactly what happened in the first few minutes of trading?
We had a selling frenzy this morning, particularly our guess is that it happened to individual investors, lots of trades smaller than 500 in size, selling major Dow components, whether it be JP Morgan or IBM, on perhaps concerns about earnings going forward.
With all the volatility, is it time to sell?
Stocks are investments made over a longer term investment horizon. So if you're worried about your holdings in your portfolio on a daily or weekly basis, then maybe perhaps being in equities is not the proper investment for you.
If you are one of the brave ones out there with a strong stomach, is now the time to invest in stocks?
If you're a long-term investor, and if you like the market at 20% ago, you certainly like it now. So certainly there'll be some buying opportunities, I believe, as we go into year-end.
Let's talk about the future of Wall Street. Where do we go from here?
I don't think we see Dow 15,000, but we don't think there's going to be Dow 7,000. There's many more wild cards and uncertainties which are added. It's an election year. We certainly have some volatility in oil, even prior to some of the uncertainty going on in the Middle East.
Now, for the year, the Dow Jones is down by 13.5%. The Nasdaq is even worse. That's down by more than 21%. But things can change very quickly, just like today. We're live in the newsroom tonight. I'm Jeff Tadarian, 7 News.
A consumer group says there's new cause for concern in the home heating crisis. Heating oil inventories in New England are down 78% from last year, and that's according to the group Mass Energy Alliance. The group says New England wholesalers have just more than 3 million barrels of heating oil on hand right now. That's down from 14 million barrels at this time last year. Many oil wholesalers are nervous about stocking up on oil right now just in case prices drop, but that could end up costing you. So the group is urging lawmakers to find a way to get wholesalers to keep more oil on hand.
The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court upholds the murder conviction of Eddie O'Brien. O'Brien is serving life without parole for killing his best friend's mother, Janet Dowling. She was stabbed more than 100 times inside her home in 1995. Lawyers for O'Brien say the teen did not get a fair trial. He was 15 at the time of the murder. A Wellesley doctor accused of killing his wife loses his fight to get evidence thrown out. Prosecutors say Dirk Grinerder stabbed and beat his wife Mabel in a park last Halloween as the couple walked their dog. Late this afternoon, a judge ruled evidence taken from the doctor's home can be used in a trial.
And a judge says a cross-dressing doctor charged with killing his wife cannot make contact with his young children, at least not for now. 7's Victoria Block is live in Salem. She has details. Vicki?
Kim, the family's argument is simple. Dr. Sharp is unfit, has terrorized his family for years, and has already done enough damage. Dr. Richard Sharp's daughter, Shannon, is surrounded by her family as their lawyer describes how the Gloucester dermatologist abused her and her mother for years, allegedly poisoned her and made good on his threat to kill his wife.
He promised her mother a certain result if she left him. She never killed her. Probably would have killed Shannon. He missed her by a half an hour.
It was the basis for his argument against Sharp's request to contact his children, ages 4 and 8. Sharp's attorney says he only wants what's best for them.
To a 5-year-old child who's lost his or her mother, having some form of contact with the father may actually be in their best interest. It may not be. We don't know.
According to affidavits, Sharp's 8-year-old son asks, "Why did my father shoot my mother? Why did he do that? I never ever want to see my father again."
I don't think I'm being emotional to suggest to this court that this man shouldn't be having any form of contact, nor indeed sticking more pins into these tiny little butterflies.
Sharp's attorney offered pictures of him and his kids, suggesting a good relationship, and claims photos of him in drag are trade show promotions. Dr. Sharp, she says, just wants to call or send a card, nothing more.
Dr. Sharp did not want to do anything unless he was assured that it would not be harmful to the best interests of his children.
The judge has appointed a guardian to keep an eye on the children, and should they undergo evaluation at some point, Dr. Sharp will have to pay for it. Reporting live from Salem, I'm Victoria Block, 7 News.
New developments in the mob mystery. After calling off a search last month, investigators have now returned to Quincy to dig for the body of Debbie Davis. Police returned to a plot of land near the Neponset River. They say they found the body of another mob victim in this area in September. Davis has been missing since 1981. She was the girlfriend of an associate of mob boss Whitey Bulger.
Investigators believe a Templeton man may have started the fire that took his life. The overnight flames at a home on Hubbardston Road killed Donald Johnson. Investigators say he had recently split from his wife. She filed a restraining order against him last week.
A moving service today in Norfolk, Virginia. The Navy paused to remember the 17 Americans killed in Yemen. President Clinton was among the many dignitaries. He praised the sailors for their valor and consoled families for their loss. 7's Sean Hennessy has details.
As the symbol of our nation flew at half-staff under heavy skies, stunned sailors, some still in their hospital beds, came together with their families to pay tribute to crewmates who didn't survive a terrorist attack.
Their tragic loss reminds us that even when America is not at war, the men and women of our military still risk their lives for peace.
Thousands came to remember, to hug, to cry, and to try and understand why 17 young lives were snatched away.
To those who organized and orchestrated this barbarous act, you are on notice that our search for you will be relentless, that America will not rest until we find you.
Today, investigators questioned the landlord of the apartment building where explosive material was found, and they found an abandoned car with a boat trailer, which could have launched the attack boat carrying the explosives that blew a gaping hole into the Cole. Today, the warship gave up the bodies of 2 more servicemen, but it's still attuned to 4 more yet to be recovered.
We weren't just a team or the Navy. We were a Cole family, out there doing what we do, going in harm's way. And some of my family is still abroad. I very much want the rest of my family back here with us. While the terrorist Osama bin Laden is a prime suspect, authorities have also detained members of some Islamic militant groups, and they are being questioned at this hour. Meantime, the FBI Director Louis Freeh is heading to the Persian Gulf to oversee himself this investigation. We're live in the newsroom. Sean Hennessy, 7 News.
And now to Decision 2000. The debates are over. Now the presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail. Vice President Al Gore is in Iowa talking about Social Security. The Democrat hopes to pick up support from undecided voters while visiting people there in Des Moines. George W. Bush is visiting with supporters in Wisconsin. The state traditionally favors Democrats, but polls show Wisconsin is one of several battleground states still up for grabs. Time is running out to register to vote in next month's election. The deadline is 8 o'clock tonight. City and town clerk offices will be open late for last-minute registrations. And for more information, you can click onto our website. It's WHDH.com.
Coming up on 7 News, life after the big dig. What will this look like when the new road is underground? Some possibilities straight ahead.
Tonight, the story is rain. Tomorrow, the story will...